Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As I briefly mentioned in my last video, I have been on the hunt for a few lesson horses to add to my barn family as I get my lesson program started, and as of now I have my two personal horses, 𝗓𝗏 and Milo, but neither of them are going to be used in my lesson program due to 𝗓𝗏 being my personal competition horse and Milo being too green for kids. That being said, in this video I will be showing you each of the horses I have tried over the last few weeks, and keep in mind I want to take things slow in this beginning of my new lesson career as I adjust to owning several horses, and I'm also able to use Avery's current lesson horses, so that is a huge help. Without further ado, let's move on to showing you the very first horse that I tried. The first horse that I tried was a gelding named Rio de Janeiro, aka Rio, and he is a 17-year-old trackner standing at about 15.3 hands high. His ad reads that he had a successful show career jumping pretty high and he's ready to settle down and enter a lesson program. And what really intrigued me about Rio is that he can teach beginners all the way up to advanced, and that's something I think would be really beneficial as I start my lesson career. He was located at Firgrove, which as you can see is a really beautiful facility, and they actually have open cross-country trails, so I would really love to bring 𝗓𝗏 here one day to do some cross-country, but that's a whole different video. So I was able to tack Rio up, which I believe is super important when trying horses, especially when they're going to be used as lesson horses and or working with kids. Something I noticed right away was that Rio was very forward and attentive to my aids. His walking stride was pretty large and he was automatically ready to work, which is something I really admire as many lesson horses are known to be lazy and slow-paced.
And you can't tell me this don't feel right, yeah. I know that you want me.
Before we even started trotting, I was working on bending him and making sure he was listening, and when we picked up the trot, I was surprised at how smooth it was. It was like his back was barely even moving and it was just his legs floating under him.
I don't need to worry when I'm with you.
And we did a few circles and he broke a few times, which obviously was not great, but I was playing around with my leg and how much I needed to put on, so that's obviously something we can work on, so I didn't think too much of it.
When I'm with you.
When we picked up the canter, I was very impressed at how smooth the transitions were. We did a circle at the canter and he did break again, but we did fix it in the next circle.
Feeling low for a while, but you can always make me smile. And you know that I mean that.
And then pretty much after this, we did a lot of transition work, so he's not breaking here. I am just pulling him down to the walk, doing some halting, going from trot to canter, and really just playing around to see how he reacts to my cues. And as you know, kids can be pretty harsh on the mouth sometimes, so I want to just see how he reacts to that. After I felt that we were fully warmed up, we just walked around a lap and then we decided to do some jumping. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but the very first jump we did, I was very impressed. His jump was super floaty. It was very clear that he had been trained very well and probably placed very well in the shows that he did, but we just jumped around and these were all like haystacks as you can see, so it was more like cross country, so it was just overall a good time. He also was not bothered by the drone at all, which obviously I value because I do YouTube and am constantly using a drone when I ride. I did find that he wasn't super adjustable when it came to doing lines of more than one jump, and he got a little bit fast and strong, which is probably from his show jumping past. But overall, he had a very nice jumping form and head carriage and didn't seem spooky at all. He was very willing to work, and I just think that the issue of being a little headstrong and forward can be fixed, especially with advanced students. They can work on that. I didn't decide anything right there, but he was definitely one to put on the list. The second horse I tried was in the Redwoods area, which is absolutely stunning, and it was out of a private farm, and her name is Queen of Hearts, aka 𝗂𝗂𝗲, a 15-year-old quarter horse mare standing at about 16.1 hands high, and she was originally trained Western, but she's pretty much an all-around horse now, so she can do anything, which I think would be very beneficial to our lesson program. So I did get to watch her be tacked up as I was arriving, but I wasn't able to tack her up myself, which was a little bit of a bummer, but not too big of a deal. I started by just warming her up, and something I noticed was that she was very slow, but she had a very sweet demeanor and was very calm.
You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. You see her walking down the pool.
She definitely required a lot of leg, but she was very responsive and did everything I asked her to, and everything was going super well except when we were starting to trot more, and I just felt like something was a little bit off. I couldn't tell if she was maybe just stiff, but I was starting to suspect that she was lame, and maybe the owners just didn't know, and so that's why they let me get on her, and she could have hurt herself in the pasture that morning or something like that. And so I did end up taking her for a little canter to see how it felt, and immediately I knew something was not quite right, so I did end up hopping off. Overall, I really liked her. She's not personally the type of horse that I like to ride just because of the low head carriage, because she was trained Western and just how she is built, but I do think she would be a great lesson horse.
Oh, you think she's lame? That's too bad.
Yeah, it's that front left, I think.
Okay, let me take a look. It seems a bit swollen, but nothing too irregular. I'll try lunging her to get a better look at it.
She brushing against my hands. Seen you from around the way. You didn't give me the time of day. You be making moves that who really care what Simon say. All the bad things, girl, I had to look past that. Call yourself a dime, I'm just trying to get my cash back. You be looking fine, so no wonder they can't match that louis-V scarf for 'em.
Something is definitely off. She's really favoring that front leg. It's too bad though. She seemed like a good candidate. If it's minor and heals up in a few weeks, you could still buy her.
So we did end up hearing from the owners a few days after, and everything looked all clear. She just walked on it funny in the pasture and probably hurt it in some little way, but it was nothing too serious, so we decided to just wait it out, and if she healed within a few weeks, then we would still consider buying her. Next up was a little pony, and if you watched my week of training Clover video, then you will know that I went to Moreland Stables one of the days, and I actually saw this pony when I was there, and I saw that she was for sale, and when I started looking for horses, I remembered that and just called them up to see if she was still available, and they said I could come out and try her. So 𝗀𝗃𝗃 is also known as Golden Girl, and she is 7 years old and a 𝗃𝗃𝗃. Her ad really intrigued me because it says she is the sassy princess of the barn with a lot of personality, which sounds a lot like Avery's horse Tilly, so I feel like they would either be opposites attracting or they would be absolute enemies, so we would have to see. I definitely noticed her sass right away, because you can see right here when I got on, she was like, who is this person on me? What are you doing? But once we got going, she was pretty good. Her walk was really forward, and she was paying a lot of attention, and I just really liked how she felt. Obviously, I was pretty big for her. I actually loved her trot so much. It was just really unique and kind of a different feeling, I guess. I don't know. It was super floaty and bouncy, and it just felt like she had a lot of life in her and a lot of personality, which I absolutely love. The more personality, the better. Her canter was such a nice hunter pony canter, and she collected really nicely, and occasionally she would have to take a few trot steps to get in the canter, but overall I really liked it. Again, super bouncy and very floaty, which was really nice, and we did a little bit of extended cantering here. Super fun. As you can see, we didn't get the change going across that diagonal, so she does have a simple change I figured out. Her mouth was a little bit hard, so we practiced backing up just to make sure she would stop all of the way. We started jumping, and honestly, I was just so obsessed with this pony's jump. It was so cute, and she had such a cute little form, and she didn't rush the jumps at all. I feel like she would really suit beginner to intermediate riders because she can go to about 2, 3. I'm not really sure how high she can go, but she just has the cutest little jump. So overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed trying Twinkie, and she was definitely one to keep on the list, but after you see the next pony I try, you will know that it's going to be a very hard decision. So the second and final pony I tried was PB&J, aka Peanut. Obsessed with the name, but he's an 11-year-old Gotland pony gelding, standing at about 13 hands high, and some things I really liked about him is that he's very experienced and placed very well in the 𝗂𝗏 pony finals. He is a bit bigger than Twinkie, so I think he would suit a greater variety of students. He was located at 𝗬𝗏 Farm, which is such a beautiful area as you can see, and luckily I was able to tack him up, and his ground manners were great, no problem with that. He was super good, and can we just talk about how cute this pony is? He is just your typical sweet gelding. There wasn't really anything ponyish about him, if you know what I mean. Like, he wasn't super sassy or anything. He was honestly just like a big teddy bear, and his walk was very nice, and then his trot was super nice too, very energetic. He held his head pretty high, so we would have to work on kind of putting him in a frame, but other than that, it was really nice. He picked up the canter right when I asked, and you can tell that he's been pretty well trained, and one of the side effects of that is the price is a little bit steeper. He did break a few times, but I think this was definitely my fault for not using the right leg pressure. So we did some pretty good sized jumps for this little pony, and let me tell you, he has some scope. He can go pretty high for his size, which I think would be really nice because he has a lot of potential and he can still show at pretty good heights. Was pretty adjustable too. I think he would make a great little jumper pony if you really wanted to, but he's also a great hunter as well. Hello everyone, I just got done trying Peanut, and oh my goodness, he was such a fun ride. We did some pretty good sized jumps, and I just had so much fun riding him. I think he would be a great addition to the lesson program, but I don't know, it'll be a hard choice, so you'll have to let me know what you think, but I'm gonna go untack this boy, but I'm so glad I got the chance to ride him. So those were the 4 horses that I tried, and I really enjoyed riding all of them. They're all amazing, and I'm sure they will do great in the homes that they end up going to, whether it be mine or someone else's. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to the new additions to the family, but this video is getting very long, so that will be for the next video. I'm sorry to make you wait, but make sure to let me know in the comments which horse and which pony you think I am bringing home with me. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. It was so fun to make, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!